Hello my friends and happy new year! I wish you to finally get that gym membership and grow some muscle so you can flex them to that fat bitch from McDonald's. And maybe she will let you sniff her ass. Anyway, I wanted to make this video in 2023, but because of my laziness, I'm making it in 2024. My goal for this year is to masturbate less, but currently I'm holding my hard cock in my hand, so I don't know what will happen. So, last year I made a video, 2022 was the worst year for Dead by Daylight. And 2022 was a bad year for this game. Not only did we get some of the most boring chapters in 2022, for example the night, also in 2022 39 different perks got reworked and it was a complete mess. Players were forced to change their builds and nobody really liked it, so basically in 2022 Dead by Daylight was a bit of a mess, but also 2022 had a bunch of uninteresting events. But I think that 2023 was probably one of the best years for Dead by Daylight, and in this video I will tell you why 2023 was an amazing year for this game, and if you quit this game before 2023 you might want to come back, so let's talk about it. But before that, I got a question for you. Do you still play on your mom's computer? Maybe you want to play Dead by Daylight but your system cannot run this game. Or maybe you have downloaded so much porn that there is no space for Dead by Daylight on your drive. In either case, my new video sponsor Boosteroid will help you. Boosteroid is a cloud gaming platform that provides 2-click access to high-end video games. With Boosteroid, you can play games at 60 frames per second on your shitty computer, laptop, tablet, Android TV, or even your mobile phone. The best part is that with Boosteroid you don't even need to think about downloading your games. You can play games on your browser, and I'm not joking. As crazy as it sounds, you can play Dead by Daylight on your browser. If you are interested in joining Boosteroid, then click the link in the description. By clicking on that link and subscribing to Boosteroid, you will support my channel a little bit. Also, Boosteroid has nothing to do with steroids, so stay natural, kids. Keep in mind that the official year for Dead by Daylight begins in June, because that's when Dead by Daylight's anniversary is being celebrated, and that's when we get the new roadmap, and every June or so we are getting big announcements, and honestly it's one of my favorite celebrations. It's like my birthday. But in this video I'm gonna talk specifically about the year 2023. Some people say new year, new me, but I say new year, new time for Dead by Daylight to improve. And looking at the beginning of 2023, it doesn't look too good for Dead by Daylight. I mean, we got the most hated killer in Dead by Daylight, the school merchant. Yes, it happened in 2023. Before making this video, I thought that the school merchant came in 2022, but it turns out that she became a part of Dead by Daylight in 2023. Everybody hates School Merchant. I don't even need to explain why. She's boring, her design is bland. After the rework, she's fun to play, but her lore and her visual design is definitely lackluster compared to most other killers in Dead by Daylight. So this chapter was a disaster. What's also a disaster is that leakers had leaked the next killer, the Singularity, months ahead of its release. So we already knew that we would be getting an original killer, and what I love about the Singularity is that his visual design is a top tier. Like, he looks amazing and his power is actually pretty fun to use. However, the Singularity is already dead. Nobody really plays this killer, and if you play the Singularity, I don't know, like what the fuck. Also, the map which came with the singularity, Dvarka Deepwood, is one of the most hated maps in Dead by Daylight. I think it gets too much of hate because RPD is a shitter map in my opinion, but Dvarka Deepwood needs a rework because it's clustered with a bunch of useless objects and it's just not fun to play on that map. So the beginning of 2023 looked like shit. However, what came next into Dead by Daylight, it completely made up for the failures that occurred in the beginning of the year. What I'm talking about is we got two extremely huge licenses. First of all, we got Alien with the Xenomorph. And this license is fucking huge. Not only did we get the Xenomorph, which I will talk about in a minute, but we got a new variation of Dvarka Deepwood, Nostromo Wreckage, and this map is actually a good version of Dvarka Deepwood. This map is not overcrowded with a bunch of shit, it feels amazing to play on this map, and it's one of my favorite maps. And honestly, for the first time in a while, I got no friends that are unhappy about this new map being in Dead by Daylight. And let's talk a little bit about the Xenomorph, because this killer is actually amazing. Of course, on the PTB the Xenomorph was stronger and more fun to play. I don't really like the nerfs that developers gave to this killer, but the Xenomorph is the first killer to be able to physically travel under any map. Unlike Demogorgon, who has this like fast traveling kind of teleportation animation, Xenomorph, with the Xenomorph you can literally be underground and sneak and see if people are above you, which is very cool mechanic by the way. And he's the first killer to be able to switch from being the killer on 4 legs to being the killer on 2 legs. I mean, I think that the singularity was a test for the Xenomorph, because the singularity and the Xenomorph both share some counter tools, and both of them brought the same map with different variations. So yeah, Xenomorph was great. But after the Xenomorph, we got Checky. And Checky is a very, very unique killer. I would argue he's one of the most unique killers in Dead by Daylight ever released, besides like the nurse, the spirit, and the huntress maybe. I don't believe that he was made to be a stealthy killer, but he is probably the best stealthy killer in Dead by Daylight. He is so little, so short, that it's extremely easy to confuse survivors, not to mention that you can turn off your terror radius with his power, which makes him even more stealthy, and sometimes, because of his short size, you can literally stand behind a survivor without your terror radius, and they will not notice you. Of course, this leads into some unique and funny gameplay interactions. He has a bunch of voice lines from the original Checky actor, which made me extremely happy because I love Child's Play, even though I have seen only 2 movies of the original Child's Play, and I have also seen Cult of Checky. I didn't like that movie, but I love Checky, not in a homosexual way though. Also, keep in mind that Checky is the first killer in a third-person perspective, and initially I didn't like that. I think that we should be able to play Checky in a first-person perspective, even though it is very controversial, and I understand people who tell me that no, this wouldn't work. But I like the idea that we are getting something new into the game. It means that other killers being in a third-person perspective in the future is a possibility, and maybe we will get some of our beloved killers like the Trapper, like an ability to play in a first person. I don't know, the future is unknown. But Checky being the first killer in a third person perspective is a very good sign of Dead by Daylight evolving. I haven't talked about perks. We got some decent perks this year, but you know, I don't really want to talk about perks too much because it might make or break the year of 2023. If you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of perk conversations, so I'll leave it for another video, I guess. But keep in mind that on the side note, we finally got Stranger Things back into Dead by Daylight, which means that the chapter of Vecna being the killer is possible, and as a Stranger Things fan, I'm extremely satisfied with it. We finally got Hawkins' laboratory back into the game, Demogorgon, Nancy and Steve purchasable again, all of the skins purchasable again. I feel sorry for those people who spent $300 on this chapter from the key reseller websites, but it is what it is. Life is tough. However, Stranger Things coming back into Dead by Daylight opens a door for amazing year of 2024 or 2025, we will see. I haven't even spoken about the events of 2023. For example, we got the biggest event ever. It was the Halloween event, and during that event you could literally enter a different dimension in Dead by Daylight, and it was extremely cool gameplay gimmick. I think it was a test for Vecna coming into Dead by Daylight, because I feel like if Vecna was a killer in Dead by Daylight, this killer would be able to bring you into a different dimension. The winter event in 2023 was also better than ever before. It wasn't as cool as the last Halloween event, but developers are finally giving us some cool free rewards for playing Dead by Daylight during events, and I loved all of the skins, especially the Halloween skin for the night. That skin looks like a fucking paid skin. Like, I would literally pay $15 for that skin, and I got it for free on the event. So I think that these events were the best Dead by Daylight has ever had. I don't play Dead by Daylight Mobile, but I want to mention this, that in Dead by Daylight Mobile 2023 for that game was amazing as well. I mean, they got a prop hunt and they got a 2v8 game mode, and I feel like DBD Mobile is like a testing ground for the normal Dead by Daylight. So I feel like in 2024 we might finally get something like 2v8 game mode, and developers have already spoken that yes, new game modes are finally coming into Dead by Daylight. So I'm very pumped for what's coming into Dead by Daylight, because after all of these years, finally we are getting something different. On the side note, anti-camping was introduced in 2023. It's a broken mechanic, it doesn't work as intended, but let's give some credit to developers for trying to fix something unfixable. And one of the coolest things that everybody forgot, it happened in 2023, is that whenever a survivor player disconnects, the bot will replace that player. So yeah, these bots, they actually know how to play the game, and especially when they play against something like Pyramid Head, these bots will always counter his attack. So yeah, take it as you want, but sometimes these bots are overpowered. But I'm happy they are in the game. I could talk a lot about 2023 because a lot happened in 2023, you know, a year has 365 days, and that's like, those days are enough for a bunch of stuff to happen. But let's not talk about it anymore, because let's look at the future. The future holds a lot for us, I believe so. I believe that 2024 will be even more exciting than 2023. I believe that the next chapter will be original, and after that we should get some awesome licenses, hopefully big licenses. Hopefully Springtrap or something like that. Yes, I do want FNAF to happen, but I'm not a FNAF crybaby. Anyway, make sure to comment your opinion. I will read the comments later. Subscribe for more DBD videos, and I will see you later. Bye.